Hey guys, I am going live. Let me see if I can bring up, I was gonna see if I could bring up a chat here. I don't know if anybody actually comes up to watch. I am going live because honestly, the videos upload a lot faster. And I tried to do it on my laptop, but it was not working for some reason. So I'm gonna do it on my phone. And I am going to do a video on why I won't quit my job to be a full-time reseller. And if anybody is watching, they can post some questions. Hopefully I will see them. If you are watching on my phone, I don't know. Anyway, I wanted to talk about why I won't do eBay full-time or Poshmark or whatever, and that seems to be a topic of conversation that's out there. And so I wanted to give you my opinion, and just as a disclaimer, this is only me personally. As you can see, I'm at work, and the reason I'm doing this at work is because I have no patience today. And so did all my room checks, I did everything that I need, and now I'm like, well, I guess I can put up a video because this is one I've been wanting to do for a little while. So I just want to put out there that I love eBay. It is super fun and I want it to stay that way. That's one of the reasons why I won't do it full time. I want to keep it part time, and I'm still doing it is because it's really fun. I know there's been a lot of problems with eBay lately and for sellers, and my views are down and all that good stuff, and just like everybody else that's having problems. I probably the biggest reason why I don't want to do eBay full time is because one, I love my job. I love what I do. Yes, it does take me away from my family, but I don't do it full time. I only work part time right now, and I'm going back to school. But I love my job. It energizes me, and there's security. And that's the number two reason why I won't quit my job is because there's really no security in being a reseller. What I've found, I've been doing eBay for about 2 years now. Almost 2 years. It'll be 2 years in September is when I started. So almost 2 years I've been doing eBay. And the one thing I've learned about being a reseller is it's never consistent. This is for me. I have found that it's not consistent, and I personally like to have some security in what I'm doing, some security in my income that's coming in. I have very specific bills I have to pay. I need to know that I'm making a certain amount, and breaking it down, I'm kind of a numbers girl. So breaking it down to how many hours I put into eBay and the return I'm getting from eBay. Right now, I kind of worked it out to where with what I'm profiting and how many hours I'm putting in, I'm really only making about $10 an hour doing eBay. So that makes it not really worth it for me to do it. So I do it out of a hobby. This is really super fun for me. I love to thrift. I've always loved to thrift. I love to source, and this gives me kind of an outlet to be able to do that. Once it's not fun for me anymore, I'm probably not going to do it. And also eBay right now and Poshmark help pay for some bills that I would not be able to pay for. Like recently we were able to get a pool for the kids for the backyard, and I would not have been able to afford that if I wasn't selling on eBay. So that was a little extra that I was able to do for them. Also, if you've watched any of my previous videos, reselling helps me pay for private school for my girls. That's huge. Like, our city that I live in is kind of small, and it really does not have a good public school system. So my kids were suffering, and I was able to provide a private school for them through eBay. Hey Donna, thanks for watching. Thank you. And so these do provide extras for my family that I would not be able to do otherwise. So that's really nice. Another reason too is that, you know what I was saying, that there's really no security in eBay. You have no idea from one day to the next what your sales are going to be. you could have 4,000 things listed, or you could have 4 things listed, and you could sell something, or you may not for days. So consistently, and I consistently list, I'm consistent. I try to do something. It's really important if you want to sell stuff on eBay or Poshmark, you need to do something every day. Every day you need to be doing something for your business. Otherwise it goes stagnant and it just doesn't work. So for me, just to tell you percentage wise, my sales are up actually 20% over last month. But if you look at the whole year, my sales are down 30% from last year, 30%. And I have more than double the listings in my store right now than I did a year ago. So things are changing. They're always changing, and they're not consistent on a day-to-day basis. One week I will bring in, $300 to $400 profit, and the next week it'll be $150. Well, that's not, you can't base, at least for me, I cannot plan a living off of $300 a week when I have 5 kids at home, and a house to run. It's just not, it's not probable for me. Now I know that there are people out there, and probably some of you can do this full time and bring in a good income. But I don't have the 40 to 60 hours a week it would take. And I don't really want to spend that much time because I'm afraid I'll get burned out, and I don't want to get burned out from this because I love it. It's so fun. I actually enjoy photos. I enjoy listing. I enjoy taking the time to do that. I enjoy doing research. I enjoy all aspects of it in small chunks. Now, if I had to do 8 hours of listing in a day, I would burn out. If I had to only source, I would burn out. If I had to only take photos for hours and hours on end, I would burn out, and I would not want to keep doing it. So doing little chunks every day keeps me motivated, and then seeing the sales come in, but there's really no guarantee that there's going to be sales. And then there have been more days in the past couple months of no sales than I've ever seen in the last 2 years of selling on eBay. When I first started, there were months that I would bring in $4,000 or $5,000 in sales. I mean, easily, and I had like 100 listings. Like, I thought this was like the best thing I'd ever found. And if that's how it was all the time, I could totally quit my job and do it as a full-time thing. But that's not how it is. And one month to the next, like the summer slowdown is real and it's valid, and it does not always help in the situation. And even though you kind of plan for it and okay, it's going to slow down in the summer, I think part of you kind of hopes that maybe it won't. Maybe people will just continue to buy. And no, both summers now I've experienced a major slowdown, and this year over last, like I said, 30% down from the year before. So that's a big chunk. And I'm still, over the 12 months, I'm still averaging $1,000 profit a month. So that's good. Donna, you say you're so right. I love doing eBay as a hobby. Yes, it is a hobby, and I have to see it that way. It is a fun hobby that gets to pay me a little bit of money. So I like that. I like hobbies that bring in profit. Another thing is it's dependent on where you live too. Like, I look at people that live in big cities. And when you live in a big city, you have a lot more options of where you can source, a lot more availability to things like the Goodwill outlet. You have a huge thrift stores, huge Goodwills, huge Value Villages where they can put a lot of stuff on sale at a time. I live in a small military town. I can find some good stuff, but it's a small town. I am 2.5 hours away from my nearest Goodwill outlet. So when I go, it is like a full day of digging and sourcing and finding stuff. And, I love it. Don't get me wrong. I can spend the entire day at the Goodwill outlet. I mean, if you've watched any of my previous videos, it's so fun. Like, I get so excited. And I'm actually going to go tomorrow with the kids, and I'm thinking of taking some video. The Goodwill outlet is not a place for kids. I'm just going to throw that out there. But we're going down to the Seattle Science Center, and on our way back, they've been begging to go. So I thought on our way back, maybe we'll just stop by there for like an hour. The hard part is going to be keeping me there for only an hour. I know I'm going to want to stay a lot longer because it's so fun and you never know what you're going to get. Hey, how's it going?
Good, how are you?
Good. So anyway, I will Another thing too that, the whole thing of having um, a smaller town and not having the stores and the sourcing, um, I am very limited to what living in a military town, a lot of the people that live in our town are not very wealthy. So it's hard for me to come across brands that are really high end. Whereas if you lived in Portland or Seattle, you're going to come across a lot of those higher end brands for less. And I just don't. So sourcing is a lot harder for me, and that makes it harder to want to do it full time because I just don't have the supply coming in. My goal right now is to make like $10 profit per item if possible on average. Some things I'm going to make less, some things I'm going to make more. Like recently I sold something for 197. Well, that is awesome, but that is not on a regular basis. That's like a, once in a lifetime type thing. So that's just not consistent and common. Another thing is the time. eBay can suck your time. For those of you who have done eBay for a while, even if you do it part-time, it takes a lot of time. And that's what a lot of people that have never done it don't really realize, is that the time it takes to photograph your items, to research your items, to source your items, and then to sit down and list your items. It's taken me 2 years, and it still takes me probably 7 to 10 minutes to get an item listed. And then if I'm cross-posting on Poshmark, how I do it is I'll do my listing on eBay, and before I save it, I'll pull my phone out and then do a quick cross post or I'll list it on Poshmark at the same time. So I'm kind of doing 2 listings at once. But Poshmark's a whole nother thing. I know there's a huge amount of eBay resellers right now that are transferring over to Poshmark because eBay is so slow and it's been so difficult. But Poshmark's not that much easier. And again, there's no guarantee you're going to sell anything. You can have 1,000 listings on Poshmark and not sell anything for days. And then the time it takes for Poshmark to share your items. And that's why I've been on Poshmark for about a year and a half, but I just started becoming more active on it because to me in the beginning, it was not worth my time. I hate having to share things. I want to list it and just leave it and just be done with it. But with Poshmark, no, you have to share like twice a day. You have to follow people. You have to get followers. Like there's all this social aspect to it that I don't know if I'm just too old and and just don't want to do it. But Poshmark is really a harder one. But I have been selling more on Poshmark, and I'm getting closer to my $1,000 mark that I've sold so far. Just a couple days ago, Friday, I sold 3 things before noon on Poshmark, and it was totally random. And I was like, okay, so because I'm selling stuff, I'm staying active. I'm just going to keep doing it and just see where it takes me. But again, I don't want to spend a ton of time, and eBay sucks your time. All reselling does. It doesn't matter what platform you're on. It's going to take time to do it. And a lot of people just don't get that, and they're like, oh, I want to sell on eBay. And then they realize how much time it takes. And if you divide that time by how much you're actually profiting, it's not very much. I mean, $10 an hour for me is not enough to quit my job. I'm a registered nurse. I'm going back to school to be a nurse practitioner, nurse midwife, and this is just kind of a fun hobby that I get to do in the meantime. I'm not telling anybody out there, I'm not giving you guys advice on what to do. If you want to do eBay full time and you live in an area where you can source, that's amazing. I want you to do that, and 100 times I will support whoever wants to do it. This is just my experience and why I won't quit my job to do it full time. Could I? Yes, I definitely could. I understand how to do it. I could make it work. I'm dedicated, I'm devoted. I could do it. I could easily do it if I wanted to, if I put my mind to it. But I don't want to because I love my job. I love what I'm doing. I can't wait to finish school. And this just gets to be my hobby until then. So hopefully that is helpful in any way to you guys about just thinking about, if you're thinking about doing eBay full time, you have to kind of think of all the aspects of it and whether or not it's going to be worth it for you and for your family, and if you have the ability to source and to try different things and to expect change. And if you're the type of person that can handle change, then great, this is a good business for you because it changes day to day what people will purchase, what they're looking for. And honestly, my opinion as to why eBay has slowed down is because I think our economy is doing better. And I think people are willing to pay more for their items. So they're buying stuff brand new. Um, and I don't think eBay is going to go anywhere. I'm not mad at eBay. I think that I am not afraid of change. I know change happens and I'm just going to roll with it, mostly because it is a hobby for me. It's not my full-time job. And I don't know what I would do if it was my full-time job. I would be a little stressed out and I don't want to be stressed out. So I have a lot of security in my job, and I know that no matter where I go, babies are always going to be born, and I can always find a job and do my job well. So anyway, kudos to you guys who do this full time, and let me know if you have any questions about doing it part-time or as a hobby or anything at all. If you guys have any ideas of what kind of videos you want me to put up, let me know. I really enjoy doing videos too, and thanks for all of you who have subscribed and made this happen for me. It's kind of been one of my little dreams, and this too is a hobby, so it's kind of fun. And I'd be happy to do any videos you guys want me to do. If you want me to do something just on family life or how I work it into chunks during my day, I can do that too. So happy Sunday to you guys, and I hope you had a great weekend, and I hope you have a great rest of your week, and I just hope that your sales increase and that you guys are doing well. And let me know what you think, and like and subscribe if you haven't yet, and I will see you guys later if I can figure out how to turn this. Okay guys, I gotta figure out how to turn it off on my phone. Okay, I'll see you guys later. Bye.